So, hello everyone. I'm Julia from Need Indeed, and during this time of social distancing, we are trying to find new ways to connect the classroom with the community. And so we are here today with one of our community partners, TC Shillingford from Broad Street Ministry, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the work that they are doing. So I'm wondering, can you just tell us a bit about the work that you do in Philadelphia and how the COVID-19 pandemic is impacting your work?
Broad Street Ministry is an organization that provides meals and services for people experiencing homelessness and deep poverty and vulnerability more generally. And a crucial part of the way we provide those services is we deliberately build community. We create a space for hundreds of people a day that feels like it's theirs, like they're walking into a friend's house or a family member's house, the place where they feel comfortable being themselves. And as a result of that a couple of hours of comfort that we're able to offer, we find that it helps people improve their optimism, their outlook on their circumstances, and that allows them to access what they need to achieve whatever their goals are, whether it's a job or a permanent home or a doctor or some kind of treatment, whatever it is they need, they're more open to it. With COVID coming through, the guideline from the health department is that you don't have groups of more than 50 people in a single space at all. And our organization normally hosts several hundred people at once, 300 or 400 every single day and thousands across the year. And so we've had to radically change how we provide our services. We've taken away some of our services because there's no way to avoid a crowd when we have them. And now, instead of having a sit-down meal every day where we've got tableside service, we are offering lunches to go. Instead of having a community space where people can sit down and hang out for a while, we've taken away all of our tables and chairs, and people come in, get their mail, they get their lunch, and they go. And it's a really strange thing to go from being a community organization to being strictly a transactional items oriented organization, but at least for the time being, that's what we've had to do.
Is there any information or a message that Philadelphia students should know and share with others in this time?
I think this is an opportunity for people to really find their empathy for others, because for a lot of us, we might be kind of stuck in our houses and frustrated and bored by that, and maybe even frustrated with our teachers who are also learning how to use Zoom and maybe aren't sort of finessing it as well as they'd like to. For the folks who come to Broad Street Ministry, a lot of them don't have that place to be bored in. Instead, what they're finding are places like Broad Street and other organizations in the city where they would normally spend their time and access services and get meals. Those places are rapidly closing or limiting their services. And so you've got folks who already don't have enough space for them to be in, having nowhere to be. As a response to that, Broad Street is trying to sort of get out into the world a little bit more rather than just being our building. We've, as a small project, teamed up with Mural Arts to create hand washing stations throughout town. So if you see a big mural with a sink in front of it, yeah, feel free to wash your hands as you need to, because the bathrooms that used to be open to our guests are rapidly closing, sometimes permanently, sometimes temporarily, but nobody really knows for how long.
Oh, thank you. So as part of the Need and Deed service learning process, our students often ask community partners, what are some tangible ways that we can help with the work that you're doing right now?
So among the services we can still offer, an important one is we call personal care, which are sort of like toiletries, soap, toothpaste, toothbrush, socks or underwear. And it's usually a complex organism, but because we can't have people hanging out in the space right now, all of the toiletry bags we make ahead of time. So rather than custom offering everybody what they need, we are sort of doing our best guess to provide everybody with everything. And so we are in need of all that kind of stuff, especially with a handful of other organizations that offer something similar, struggling to stay open. Socks, soap, hand soap, toothpaste and toothbrush, small travel sizes of those things when you can find them. I know the grocery stores are closed down, but I can promise you, according to my friends on the West Coast, they will be restocked soon again. And our guests are in great need of all of that kind of stuff, because they have limited resources to stay clean and sanitary on their own. So anything we can offer to give them a chance to be is really important right now.
And what's the best way for folks to get in contact with you all, or to know where to send donations to?
Send an email to donate@Broad Street Ministry, and a staff member will respond to you with the details of how we can get together with all of your soap and toothbrushes. So
wonderful. Yeah. My last question is, have you experienced anything encouraging or surprising in the midst of this struggle?
It's been a strange, complex time for us. So I found everything to be surprising, but somewhat wonderfully, it's easy to forget about people who are vulnerable during the best of times. And I am heartened that the city has not totally forgotten our folks who are in vulnerable housing situations or sleeping on the street or in the subway. This time around, certainly part of that is because if a handful of our folks get sick, there is very little to stop hundreds more folks from being the same way. But so the city looking into reopening Hahnemann and reserving a big block of the Holiday Inn downtown for folks who have nowhere else to go to self-quarantine. I think that is extraordinarily heartening, and I'm glad to see we're not totally forgetting about hundreds of people here in Philadelphia.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. This was really good to get to talk to you, and look forward to connecting with you again soon.
Yeah, and I hope to be back in all your classrooms sooner or later. So good luck, everybody.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.